back to One Hit Wonderland, and let me take you back to 1989. In the pop world, music is obnoxiously slick and polished and watered down as it'll ever be. But if you look beneath the surface, you'll find an increasingly popular genre called hip-hop, right then going through what they call its golden age. A lot of people didn't like it. It's not even real music, they said. It's ugly, it's dangerous, it's threatening. To break through against rampant prejudice against the genre, you had to be the tightest, most undeniable, most technically perfect MC ever to take the mic. In other words, you had to be Biz Markie.
Let me tell you a story of my situation. I was talking to this girl from the US nation.
Yes, the diabolical, the clown prince of hip-hop, the man they called the Biz. He looked like a cartoon character. He sang like a dying walrus. He rapped like he just had his tonsils removed. And yet he powered his way not only to a top 10 hit, but to about 25 years of goodwill since. Hip-hop loves Biz Markie. I came into this knowing nothing about him, and yet I kind of feel like I also knew everything about him, because he just seems to be one of those guys who keeps popping up because everybody just wants him around. Why him?
You got what I need.
Now if there's any one-hit wonder who deserves to be forgotten, you'd think it would be this hilariously incompetent marble mouth. Is there anything really more to the guy than just being the late 80s version of William Hung? Well, don't let the looks fool you. To many, Biz Markie deserves to be mentioned among the all-time greats. Instead, he wound up a victim, and to a lot more than just a two-timing groupie.
Oh, snap! Guess what I saw?
But even despite that, he's still around today, still kicking it. Why? Because nobody beats the Biz. Check it.
Then when I asked, do you have a man, she tried to pretend. She said, no I don't, I only have a friend. Come on.
Marcel Hall, better known as Biz Markie, got into hip-hop when he was just a teenager on Long Island.
Well, I used to be busy getting in trouble, and my name is Markie anyway, so I put them both together.
And this being the mid-80s, he did what every kid in New York was apparently doing. He beatboxed. Yeah, beatboxing used to be this huge thing, even among big-name rappers. Nowadays, the only people who beatbox are college a cappella groups and Justin Timberlake, and people only kind of tolerate it because he's Justin Timberlake, let him do what he wants. But in the 80s, it was Biz Markie's ticket to the big time. And he got a job with Cold Chillin' Records where he got to go behind a lot of the late 80s greats like Big Daddy Kane and Roxanne Shante and MC Shan. I guess he was cheaper than hiring an actual DJ. You know, 808 machines, they don't pay for themselves. But then he decided to become a rapper too. Now you'd think that'd be a disaster, right? Well, he released his first album in 1988 and it is fantastic.
It's time to hear a funky rhyme from me, the Biz Markie again.
Yeah, really, I mean, listen, he kind of sounds like an actual credible rapper, doesn't he?
Check out this bizarre rapper style used by me, the B-I-Z-M-A-R-K-I with the E, and you will be agreeing.
I'm not sure if he'd survive if he tried to break through nowadays, but for an old school rapper, he sounds pretty legit. To be fair, part of that is because his bro, Big Daddy Kane, is co-writing his stuff. Biz was always more of a, a freestyler. Big Daddy Kane, he was this lover man dude. He eventually let himself get photographed banging Madonna. He and the Biz have different skill sets, let's say. I'm gonna keep calling him the Biz because that's what he calls himself, but that's kind of throwing me off. It makes me keep thinking of the Wiz. I'm not the only one, right?
What's up?
We want to see the great Biz.
The Biz sees no one.
Okay, yeah, I'm not the only one. Good to know.
When I was a teenager, I wanted to be down with a lot of MT DJ and crews in town. Source crewing overseas, I said, can I be down, champ? They said no one treated me like a wet food stamp.
And yeah, his rap style is a little simple. Occasionally it's super simple, like little kids come up with rhymes that flow better. So he's no Rakim, but he is a great personality. There was no one like him, and he had a great producer in Marley Marl.
She caught the paper.
And because of that, I'd like to play the song that, other than his big hit, is probably the definitive Biz Markie song, Pickin' Boogers. You're like, what? He made a song called Pickin' Boogers? Yeah, sounds disgusting, right? Yeah, don't worry, this is not actually a song about picking your nose. Now you see, Pickin' Boogers is actually late 80s hip-hop slang for, being successful, making money. Nah, I'm just screwing you. It's about picking your nose.
When I am playing might not be kosher to you, but it's still something we all have to do. So go up your nose with a finger or two and pull out one or crush the crew.
See? Who else are you gonna get that from but Biz Markie? Biz released a second album in 1989 and it's not quite as good as the first one. A lot of that is because he produced it himself instead of having Marley Marl do it, which, you know, Marley Marl's like one of the best, so maybe that wasn't the best idea. And yet it's the album that made him big. Go figure.
Your mom's is so poor. She went to McDonald's and put a shake on layaway.
Is your mother so old she knew Central Park when it's just a plant?
Yeah, I wish I could just hang out with you sometime, Biz.
Oh, you got what I need.
Forget them girls, man. What's up? Yo, I got a little story to tell you.
You tell.
Have you ever met a girl that you tried to date, but a year to make love she wanted you to wait?
No, can't say I have.
I asked her name, she said blah blah blah. She had 9, 10 pants and a very big bra.
Now there were joke rap songs before. You had your, Beastie Boys, your Fat Boys, but Just a Friend isn't just silly, it's inept.
Forget about that, let's go into the story about a girl named blah 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 that adore me.
We've seen that Biz Markie does actually know his way around a mic, but Just a Friend sounds like absolute amateur hour.
You got what I need.
I can't even imagine what it must have sounded like in 1989. I can only assume people thought they were just watching a fat idiot fail his way into a hit via some combination of pity and amusement. And I say pity because the song is kind of pathetic in a lot of ways. Lyrically, it's about getting cheated on.
The way that I met her was on tour at a concert. She had long hair and a short miniskirt.
Biz meets a girl, they start talking, they stay in contact, and Biz thinks it's going somewhere, but it turns out she's got this guy on the side, which she is trying to claim is just a friend.
I called the room, a guy picked up, and then I called again. I said, yo, who is that? Oh, he's just a friend.
So no, it is not about that mythical dystopian wasteland, the friend zone. No, you have to look at Mario's awful, awful reworking from 2002 for that.
But you say I'm just a friend.
God, I hate you, Mario.
Then when I asked, do you have a man? She tried to pretend. She said, no, I don't. I only have a friend.
Now, what sense does that make?
No, I don't. I only have a friend.
Well, there was your first warning right there. I mean, who would say, no, I have a friend in that situation? It's like saying, yeah, don't worry, I'm not secretly planning to abduct you and eat your skin. Red flags, Biz, they're everywhere.
Don't give me that. Don't even give me that.
Getting cheated on songs aren't rare, and Chris Brown has one right now.
These hoes ain't loyal.
Lyrically, Just a Friend is basically the same thing. These hoes ain't loyal. But the tone is completely different. Chris Brown is angry and bitter and as douchey as possible, but you can't help but love Biz Markie. I mean, it's just so innocent.
So I came to a room and opened the door. Oh, snap! Guess what I saw? A fella tongue kissing my girl in the mouth.
Oh, snap. They were kissing.
So please listen to the message that I sent. Don't ever talk to a girl who says she just has a friend.
Let this be a lesson. Men and women can't be friends. Every single guy your girl talks to, she's banging.
Come on. I'm not even going for it. This is what I'm going to sing.
It's a story about being played for a chump. And unlike Fred Durst, he didn't even get the nookie. But you can't help but feel for him. He's just bellowing that he needs her with such gusto, you know? He's holding nothing back. Even the stuff he probably should be holding back.
Oh, baby, you.
Of course, knowing what I know now, I can tell you it's all on purpose. In fact, I really admire Biz's dedication to doing everything as deliberately wrong as possible.
I arrived in front of the dormitory. Yo, could you tell me where is door 3?
Biz never had great diction, but he sounds like he's having some kind of severe allergic reaction. On the hook, he's as off-key as possible. He writes lyrics where he has to bend the words like Yoda to make it rhyme.
But a year to make love, she wanted you to wait.
Always really awkward songwriting, that is. And yet everyone loves it. Maybe it was just because the late 80s were so slick and edgeless. Imagining this, sharing a playlist with Paula Abdul and Roxette makes me laugh and laugh. But regardless, there is something there. That hook, that off-key wailing, the stumbling lyrics.
I went to a gate to ask where was a dorm. This guy made me fill out a visitor's form.
That bastard! I try not to use this phrase too often, but this song legitimately is something that's so bad it's great, which is a legitimate claim on greatness, I think. You'll never forget the image of Biz in his Mozart wig, barely even pretending that he's playing the piano. Of course, by the time his next album came around, I'm guessing he wished he could make people forget about it.
Oh, hi. Excuse excuse me.
Oh, how you doing?
Aren't you that guy who sits at the piano, with his white wig on all...
Yep, that's him, alright. Not shocking that that's the first and only thing she thinks of either. Just a Friend is the least surprising one-hit wonder song in history because Biz Markie is a joke. And that's not an insult, it's just how he presented himself. Hard to make a career when no one takes you seriously.
Yo, this sound alright though.
For what it's worth, I quite like his follow-up single, Spring Again, about how great it is that it's springtime, you know? I mean, who raps about corny things like that? Only the Biz.
Don't you like when the winter's gone and all of a sudden it start getting warm? The trees and the grass start looking fresh and the sun in the sky be looking at best.
But, you know, I get why it didn't catch on.
And the reason I reminisce called
Spring again. Everybody know it's spring again. To the girls and boys and people above. This is the time to fall in love.
I can't be the only person who finds that hilarious, right? Okay, he released his next album in 1991 titled I Need a Haircut, which is also hilarious. But I can't say that I'm that impressed with the album's first single. And it's another song about how he's unlucky in love, but it doesn't even have a hook. Naturally, this wasn't selling well at first. And then disaster struck. The golden age of hip-hop was driven by sampling. They would make all sorts of amazing brand new beats out of collages of tons of other songs, and it was great, but you know, it had already been controversial. There were a lot of lawsuits that got settled out of court. Legally, it was still all in the gray. But a songwriter from the 70s named Gilbert O'Sullivan outright denied permission for Biz Markie to sample his song beforehand. And Biz decided to do it anyway. And Gilbert sued, this went to criminal court, Gilbert won, and the judge ordered every single copy of Biz's albums taken off the shelves.
Alone again, naturally.
This court case not only stopped Biz's momentum in his tracks, it killed the golden age of sampling. Hip-hop would never be the same again. Biz Markie released what would be his last album of his peak years in 1993, titled All Samples Cleared. Haha. That album samples 5 different versions of the same song, possibly just to be clever. But hip-hop had become such a darker and more intense genre by that point, there was no room anymore for a Biz Markie. The last thing anyone ever heard of him was on the bajillion-selling Space Jam soundtrack, where Biz Markie teamed up with the Spin Doctors to record a cover of, yes, Casey and the Sunshine Band's That's the Way I Like It.
That's the way I like it.
Told you it was going to show up again. The song is following me around, I swear. Hell yes he did! First of all, the Beastie Boys were huge fans and continued to champion him, putting him on the albums, bringing him on tour. Here, let's listen to them cover Benny and the Jets. Fantastic. And people just seem to want him around. You know, I'm gonna turn on VH1 or E or just any cable station. There's Biz. He just keeps popping up. Look, there he is in Men in Black 2. And right now, he's on Yo Gabba Gabba. And I can't believe it didn't happen sooner. Think about it. A whole generation of kids will grow up having been taught by Biz Markie. Yeah, that just makes you proud to be a human being, you know? Abso-friggin-lutely. Biz Markie is an original. There's been none like him and there won't be another anytime soon. Yeah, he was a clown, but the world loves a clown for a reason. Biz Markie challenged the preconceptions of who could be a rapper because he wasn't a gangsta, he wasn't slick, he wasn't a lover man or a pretty boy, and he never tried to be. He just was who he was. And every rapper who's come out since then that was weird or goobery or grew up being uncool owes him a little something. Biz Markie, wailing, mumbling Biz Markie, a pioneer of music. Respect. You know, everybody sing along. You